Here comes Steve. He's just finished the 25 hours that is required for us to request our certificate of airworthiness that'll let us go more than 25 miles from the airport.
This episode is about what we're calling the marathon flying day. It was painful, but this is a really great memory.
Look at that. That's hilarious. Having a hard time loading that screen. And a picture of that. That is what 25 hours within 25 miles looks like. We did it in most of it in one day.
I'm starting to feel cramped in my lower back and legs.
Yeah, that's a lot, man, because you didn't really take a break. You just fueled up and went.
We'll be covering the literal blood, sweat, and tears it took to log nearly 15 hours within a 24-hour period. But this is what it took to make the deadline of getting this airplane to AirVenture.
We did. Shake hands, man. That was huge.
We did it.
Okay, Riz. I'm rolling.
Waiting on temps. So this butt crack at dawn flight brought to you by engine break-in.
That and trying to finish the test flying today because it's going to rain tomorrow. If we don't get our paperwork in by Monday, there's no chance we're going to make our deadline of July 22nd. That was the day we needed to be landing at AirVenture, which was a goal we did manage to pull off, but the final push to get here definitely took everything I had. It was a super tight schedule, and I wasn't even planning on necessarily sharing this. I was just filming for the debrief, like I hadn't shaved or even had a haircut in a long time. But the fact that Glenn's schedule lined up with ours was pretty cool.
Congrats, man.
How you doing? Thanks.
That is awesome. Within one day of each other. That's friggin' crazy.
Glenn had done his first flight the day before us, and he flew his second flight while Dave was doing our first. And during this dawn flight of the marathon day, I captured some stuff that was worth sharing while flying with Glenn. He was already up there putting some more time on Lima Golf Whiskey.
Windsor traffic RV14, Lima Golf Whiskey is in the area, 8 miles to the southeast at 2,800 feet.
How you doing, Glenn?
Good. Alpha, go to 12345.
12345, well.
I am, yep.
I mean, you have been like director of research for our project because you're kind of ahead of the curve with the searching compared to Perry and the guys. And
That's just my nature, whether it's airplanes, boats, work. I just do a lot of research, and I signed up to all RV sites, whether it's the 14 or the 10 or all of them, just to glean knowledge.
Glenn built his aircraft in about the same 2-year time frame that we did, but he was working largely alone.
Yeah, so you're kind of the classic case of a guy doing it in his garage, just getting her done. Small space, and that's all you need.
It's been fantastic. So I come out here at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning and work for 3 or 4 hours and then go up and have breakfast. And I'm a morning person. I don't usually work past 5 o'clock in the evening.
What time do you take off at?
5:48.
Nice.
Yeah, beautiful up here this morning.
So I'm just climbing to 3,000.
Okay, I'll stay at 2,800 feet or below, and I'll work more the north half of the county if you want.
Okay, I'll go to 32 just so we're 500 feet away from each other, but I got you off my, coming up my left wing here.
Yep.
How many hours you at now, you think?
I've got 18.4.
Cool, I got 2 on last night, so I think we're somewhere in the neighborhood of 14.
Oh, good. It should be real good. I'm not sure about tomorrow. I've heard conflicting reports.
Yeah, so have I. So I think Dave and I are going to tag team it and try to do all of it today.
Oh, wow.
This is a combination of finishing the required test flying hours while also operating within some very specific procedures for engine break-in. We'll get into those details shortly. And just like the entire build had gone, it was cool to be working on this stage of the process at the same time as Glenn.
and you are pretty much doing this alone, which is quite impressive.
Yeah, for the most part, I had some help from John and Peter from Windsor, who's a former builder, do the rivets that I physically couldn't reach.
So what were like some, so you were saying fiberglass was not as strong?
Yeah, I had never done actually aluminum work. When I got my tool kit and did the inventory, I had trouble with about half the tools because I had never seen before, didn't know what they were, and went by process of elimination what each thing was. Didn't know what a dimple was or a countersink. And likewise with fiberglass, never worked with it. And
well, yeah, it looks like you've done a great job on the cowl.
yeah, I'm very happy with the fit. This was probably the most intimidating, much more than the canopy. Like, they talked a lot about the canopy. I had no issues with the canopy. I was intimidated by this. And I was like, where do I start? Where do I start sanding? I was so afraid of making a mistake. I went up to talk to John and Perry and say, I brought this. I threw it in the car. And I said, what do I do?
Yeah.
And they gave me the confidence just to tackle it.
So I'm just working the south end of the zone here, heading toward you, I guess, to make my turn back towards the south.
Okay, I won't go any farther south than I am now. I'm just turning to the north.
Yeah, I got you on the traffic scope here, and I'm at 3,200 with the autopilot on, so I won't screw that up.
Yeah, I'm at 28. I've got you 400 feet above me. We're good.
Cool, and mine is saying 400 feet below, so I guess those are agreeing with each other. That is cool. I don't know how clear this is, but that is cool. That's Glenn. Alright, so power is 79, that's fine. RPM is 26, gonna bring that down in a minute. Autopilot's flying me 3,200 feet, just so I'm separated from Glenn by 500, because I'm doing all directions, so I'm worried about my VFR headings. EGCs are looking good, CHTs are looking good. I'm gonna switch tanks once I get this one into the gauge. 5 is above. The bump is off. Everything else is happy schlappy. Oh shit, I'm about to violate my distance here. Can't go more than 25 miles away from Windsor. That was close.
Both Glenn and I are running Lycoming IO390 Thunderbolt engines with angle valves. While we may want to run the CHTs a little bit hotter than we are, we don't want to run as hot as a break-in for an engine with traditional parallel valves. And the main mechanism for controlling temps is leaning. So throughout these flights, we were very cognizant of the mixture setting.
You're doing a really good job keeping it clean.
It's just, I put in that rivet down there, and I just noticed today I've got some filings down there, and I'm just dying to get the vacuum in there and get them out. Like, the way my mind works, what I found helpful is most of the time I completed or close to completed the left of something and then the right. And I felt good when I had something completed. And I was just thinking back today, like the first one was the vertical stabilizer. It wasn't even riveted, but when that was clecoed together, it was like an accomplishment. And that kind of is what kept me going. The other thing, if I made a mistake on the left and found it, I didn't make the same mistake on the right by completing one first. And it's not the most efficient way to build, because you're changing drills and dimpling and countersinks and stuff like that, but for me it's what kept me going, is seeing progress and accomplishments.
So how hot are you running your EGTs?
I'm bringing my hottest up to about 1325 when I'm above 75% power, and about 1350 below.
Okay, we were instructed to go up to 14.
Really? Because I was playing on the lean side today at 5,500 feet, and it peaked lower than I thought it should have.
Oh, does that mean your braking is getting complete or what?
I don't know what that means. I'll go, so he said 1,400 is no problem.
Yeah, no problem. Dave made me a big detailed document that says get to 14 and heck, let the hot one get above 14 just so the other ones get closer.
Okay, because my cylinder head temperatures are running pretty cool. They're just running cool.
Like I'm in the 344 to 367 range for my CHTs with my EGTs up at 1420 on the hottest one.
Okay, I'm about the same at 1350. What power are you running?
Currently 78%, 2600 RPM, but I'm cycling the RPM 50 every 5 minutes down to 2400 RPM.
Yeah, I am too.
Squares in the sky for hours at a time. I'm going to try to do 3 hours right now.
I hung the engine alone, and most people said it couldn't be done. I have a video of it because I got a Nest Cam up there. Got super fast motion. I did it just over an hour. Almost got the prop hung, but because of the compression strokes there, I needed another hand, so I got my wife. Put it on a gear alone, had the wings on and off twice alone.
That's impressive, man.
And it's just going things slowly and trying to figure out the best way to do it. And when it came to the engine, all I did was looked with the mirror to make sure the motor mount holes on the engine was lined up with the pucks.
Right.
And the washer that's in between it on the lower end. And didn't even try to put the bolt in until that was lined up, and then once it's lined up,
It just went. You have to wrestle with it the way we did.
It's because there's 4 guys pushing, and you know, I helped a couple of guys put their wings on, and it went well, but you had guys saying, go left, go right, go up, go down, and who are you talking to? Who's calling the shots? And
Interesting. Yeah.
so I had it on sawhorses at the right height and just pushed in slowly. Got the holes lined up before I tried putting, you know, the drip pin in, and then once it was lined up, put the drip pin in.
Hey Steve, what kind of 2 airspeed do you have?
I've got 172 at 3,200 feet indicated.
And you're at what power?
78%. What's your power?
78. I'm running 24/7 and 2540 on the RPM.
So I'm at 24.5 inches and 2550 RPM.
Yeah, so we're identical.
I got my cowl flap open. I don't know how much difference that makes.
Okay, I got mine closed.
My oil's at 193, so I don't really want to close it. Give it a test and try opening yours and see what you get.
Okay, so I'm doing 173 right now in a turn. That's open all the way.
Alright, I'm going to try closing mine, just see what happens. Yeah, so I went to 175 with it closed. What's cool is that it's variable, right? You don't have to open it all the way, you can open it however you want, so I'm going to try it at half now.
Yeah, my temperature's showing me I should have it closed.
Which temperature, oil?
Well, the oil and the cylinder heads aren't all that high, and they want them high.
So how high do you want to take your oil? Because I wasn't trying to keep it under 200.
Yeah, I think that can go above, but I like to keep it, you know, below 200 or close. But like I've got cooler cylinder head temperatures than they recommend.
So what are you at then?
346 to 380.
Okay, yeah, so I'm 347 to 358, so I guess I should close it for them, eh?
Yeah, what's your oil running?
195.
Yeah, see, it will probably go up 10 degrees with the cowl flap shut.
So here's where that ended up. I continued to change the RPM every few minutes by increments of 50 between 2400 and 2600.
What kind of sunshade thing are you going to get? It's pretty cookie in here.
Yeah, mine's coming. I got it. It's I just bought it from Spruce. It ended up being cheaper than trying to ship it from the States.
So just that kind looks like a Venetian blind that you kind of fold forward and back?
Yeah, it's being shipped. I should have it Tuesday. What are you doing for an external cover for when it's outside at Osh?
I haven't done with any of that stuff. I figured I would do it while I was there, maybe. I don't know.
The Bruce covers are nice, but it's a 4-week lead time. But you better show up with something in case it rains.
Yeah, well, I'm just hoping to get there at all.
Oshkosh is known for some pretty good thunderstorms.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's definitely something I gotta work out. Are you gonna do your climb test today?
No, likely not today, either tomorrow or Monday.
So knowing the weather tomorrow wasn't going to be good, we definitely planned on doing our climb performance test directly after my morning flight, so Dave showed up with the weights so we could load the airplane up to max gross weight to perform the test. This was very interesting and it was definitely worthy of its own episode.
Wouldn't want to drop this on a wing.
No, that'd be a bad day. Okay, so with that complete, I did 3 hours this morning. You're going to do knockout 5 or so with 2 missions back to back, and I'll come back at...
Somewhere between 5 and 6 is the plan.
And I'll come back and do whatever I can do in the remaining daylight.
Right, and that should be
it.
Should be very, very, very close, if not it. And then I think maybe you might get a dawn flight tomorrow if the weather holds.
Right, okay.
If we don't get, I think we're going to get there. If I do 6, for sure we get there.
Okay.
But, I mean,
that's a lot in the heat of the day, man. Bring Gatorade. Okay, I'm going to go get something to eat, have a nap, and be back in a few hours.
Roger that.
Thanks to our friend Larry, I've got a place right near the hangar, which has been an excellent base throughout the entire build.
Lunch, and I'm gonna have such a good nap right there. Oh, it's gonna be so good. So I couldn't have timed that any better. Pizza snack. And Dave is taxiing in right there.
At this point, I was reveling in the fact that we were gonna make it. And I was impressed with the airplane because it had been running basically non-stop all day.
Back to back. Well done.
A long day.
Yeah. I got some hot pizza.
I'm starting to feel cramps in my like lower back and legs.
Yeah, that's a lot, man, because you didn't really take a break. You just fueled up and went.
All right, it's my turn to do the final shift. Can't believe we did this. We pulled it off one day to do the bulk of the hours. Here we go.
That was it. I think I just crossed over the 25 hours. Dave and I crushed it today. Full-time work.
So that put us in a position to make it to AirVenture, but we still have work to do to get the VFR only and aerobatics restrictions lifted.
It flies like a fighter jet, man. Love it. Awesome. Ridiculous. Can't wait to learn to do aerobatics in this thing.
The next episode will also cover energy management and learning how to descend and control the speed in this airplane. And in the context of the engine break-in, we have not been doing low power ops or pattern work, so I haven't practiced very many landings.
Here comes Steve finishing out the last of the 25-hour Transport Canada mandatory thingamajig.
And in terms of the engine break-in status, we're trending in the right direction as far as oil consumption, but we're not there yet. So we'll keep you updated in future episodes. Until then, keep your flight chops sharp.
There's the hibbity hoppity.
You know, I didn't have a lot of knowledge going into it. I didn't know if I could do the project. My wife's been very, very supportive in whatever I've done. But with this, I didn't know if I could do it or if I'd have the persistence to get her done. So I bought the empennage kit and figured it was a $5,000 experiment, which if it went south, I could certainly recoup half my costs.
I figured I'd make sure it was a 1.5 just to be sure.
Yeah, I saw a 1.3 roll line, and I saw you make a turn in the wrong direction. I was like, I'm gonna be here another 10 minutes.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure.
Oh, you made sure. It's done. It's a good flight.
Yeah, it's good.
The landing looked okay.
Yeah, a little hippity-hoppity, but you know, it was a 3-pointer.